I changed my mind. I know. I said I hate rent-to-rent deal sourcing, but I've been reflecting lately and a few different things have come about that have just made me slightly change my mind. And on this video, I'm going to share them with you. Now, if you're watching this video and you love the idea of rent-to-rent, but maybe you've not got the time, maybe you've not got the education yet, and maybe you've not got the confidence, maybe you're not in the UK, but you still want to get involved, your best bet is to use a deal sourcer. And this is someone that will go and do the hard work for you. They will find the landlord, the agent, they'll find the deal, they will negotiate on the deal, and then they will hand it over to you on a silver platter so that you have your beautiful new rent-to-rent deal. Now, it sounds good, right? But my issue with it has always been there's so many pitfalls, uncertainties, and downfalls. I've done so much content on this, so you go check it out if you want to know this. I'm not going to go into those on this video. But it dawned on me a few key things that kind of has made me change my mind, or I don't know if I would say change my mind, but it's definitely made me think twice. I'm still reserved. I'm still not 100% sure, but I definitely have gone a certain way to changing my mind. So in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what's what. Number one, rent-to-rent is the best. Let me put it like this. When you buy a property, you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be hugely educated. You go in town, go to a letting agent, or you go on Rightmove, you find a property, you put an offer in. As long as you got the money, you're going to buy this house. Now, it could go wrong. You could buy the house in the wrong area. You could pay too much for it. You could buy a house that was rubbish. You complete on it and it's got an issue. It could have loads of different issues with it. But in principle, everybody has access to buy-to-lets. So then it dawned on me, well, why shouldn't everybody have access to rent-to-rents? Because in terms of cash flow, you cannot beat it. The issue is you need to find the right legitimate agents, sources that are going to source you these properties. But I kind of just thought, you know what? I want everybody to benefit from rent-to-rent. And it's amazing. It's an amazing strategy, but it is a niche strategy, and it is a strategy that you need to be educated in, and you need to know what you're doing. And that's key. So if you are going to source a deal, if you're going to source a deal, well done. No, if you're going to use a deal sourcer, you still need to be educated. You still need to do your due diligence. You still need to take responsibility for the legals and all that stuff. Do not take it for granted. But if you're willing to do that, it can work. Number two, and one of my biggest arguments against using a deal sourcer was that if the deal costs you $6,000 and then the sourcer charges you $4,000, that's 10 grand in, okay? 10 grand. And if you only make, say, £800-900 a month off the deal, that's going to take you a year to break even. So what's so bad about that? I mean, if I'm doing the deal, I want to break even within 3 to 6 months. But if you've got the money sat there doing nothing, and if you can get a deal for 5 years, so what if you don't make money year one? You've got year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. It could still make you 45 grand instead of 55 or 60. And I feel like depending on your time horizon, all that means is basically the time in which you want to break even and get the return and exit and enter the market in terms of investment. You might say, I'm going on maternity leave, all right, in 9 months, or maybe I'm going to have a kid in 3 months and I just want to make sure that when my maternity pay ends, I've got something kicking in. That's fine. So you invest the money, it breaks even, and then at that point, it cash flows, perfect timing. To the same degree, if you got made redundant now and you want deals now, then obviously you need cash flow now. So that's when it probably would make more sense for you to source your own. Keep in mind, the money that you pay a sourcer, you could pay to get educated. It's like that old saying, okay? All right, why buy a fish if I can learn how to catch one? Something like that. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. So rather than just saying, yo, here's the fish, or here's the deal, why not give you the skill set so that you can source endless amount of deals. And that is a point I've always wrestled with. Yeah, I might spend 10 grand on 2 deals with a sourcer, but I'm not going to spend 50 grand or 100 grand really, unless I'm just swimming in money. And last but not least, the third thing that's made me change my mind a little bit was it dawned on me, a deal to me is not going to be the same deal to you. So I've got certain deals now, or I get passed on certain deals that after I pay the VAT on the SA, or after I add the systems and you know, maybe it's a slightly different area and add the team and give them more workload, it's not worth my while. Maybe it's not worth my while money, maybe it's not worth my while attention. Because one thing I've noticed as I scale bigger and bigger and bigger is the more deals I've got, the harder it is to keep the quality right, to keep the service good, to do a great job for my tenants and guests. So sometimes more isn't more, less is more. Less properties, but higher income, higher net profit is more. That's Rent-to-Rent 2.0. And that's what I'm beginning to really understand. The bigger I scale, the more team I have. So let's say I've got a deal that's only going to net me £600. To you, that might be great. You might only need to replace £1,200 a month. So you only need 2 of them. But for me, with my big business costs and systems and infrastructure and the fact that I've got to pay VAT, that might actually only break even. So when I get deals like that in my existing portfolio or new ones, rather than me just being like, okay, I'm not going to do that, is it so bad if I then, you know, source it on or help somebody? Maybe not. Comment below and let me know what you think. As I said, I've always been against it, but it has slightly changed my mind lately. Things are happening and I'm seeing that people really need to generate income. And an extra £500-600 might not be much in the grand scheme of things, but if you're a sole trader individual that's trying to replace your income, it can do. Now, before I close this video, disclaimer. I don't care what anybody says. Deal sourcing or using a deal sourcing might be good for rent-to-rent, but it's dangerous. That's not up for argument. You must get educated. You must know what you're looking for. You must do your due diligence. You must see the legals. You must know what's what. That is key. So whatever you do, don't watch this video and say, Simon says deal sourcing's great. I'm going to go and buy some deals. Don't do that. You can do that, but you need to make sure that you've got the due diligence and you are ready to rock and roll. I hope you're enjoying this channel, the realest rent-to-renter. That's right. That's me, the king of rent-to-rent. All right. If anybody is giving you better value than this, rent-to-rent specific, comment below. Let me know whether you agree or you don't agree. Hit the subscribe button. Let's keep growing. We're growing every single day and it feels great. I thank you for the support. All right. I really, really do. I appreciate you. Whatever you do, don't use a deal sourcer. Well, you can actually.